What's up, humans? Welcome back to the Human Music Podcast. I'm Luke Rain, and this is episode 79, Finding Balance as a Music Producer. We all want to produce more music, but it's also important to find balance in our lives and stay mentally, physically, and emotionally healthy. We got together with our humans in the Dojo TV chat to discuss healthy habits on exercise, stretching, yoga, nutrition, meal prep, smoking weed, using substances for creativity, taking cold showers, breathing techniques, getting enough sleep, getting too much sleep, and much more. The song of the week that you hear behind me is from our boy Tesko. It's called Monsters Are Real. It's spooky season, so you need some spooky tunes for yourself. You can go stream it or buy it with the links right down below. And please support our sponsors while you're down there. Dojo TV's first up. That's where we recorded this episode. You could have been there in the chat with us and the ninjas and all the humans. And then the weekly download where you can learn from Ill Gates and his private weekly group lessons and get access to over 250 more episodes in the archive for just $20 a month. And guest practices where you can learn from Seth Drake at the Approach Institute. He's the best engineer we know, and your first class is free. All right, humans. With that, let's get into the episode.
Hello, people of Earth. This is Tesko with Rip Kenny and Trap Jesus, and you're listening to the Human Music Podcast. Woo!
Human Music Podcast. I like it. Going live. Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Live.
What's up, Dojo TV? Yo, so we just had to address what's just above us in the chat over here. Apparently, shit got wild on 6th Street's track feedback yesterday at the end. Where OGK said everybody should go watch Fear and Loathing and don't do LSD. But, then 6th Street said, do LSD. Got it, OGK. OGK says, we don't condone this behavior in the dojo, and secret guests let us know, do 2CB instead, where Tess then said, seriously, that's my absolute favorite for sex. So, I guess the moral of the story is bang on 2CB. This is not a statement that has been approved by the FDA.
Yeah, I just want to put it out there. We do not endorse this statement. Just free idea out into the ether.
I mean, you can't endorse something until you've tried it. So next week on the Human Music Podcast, the topic will be 2CB and sex and you.
Damn, son, this 2CB is fire.
Hey, we got Sepros in the chat saying, yo, what up? What's up, Sepros? Big ups, human.
Big up.
So if any of y'all read the email that came in from the dojo about an hour ago, you would have known that we had a guest scheduled, Exy, super dope DJ that I saw play at the local stage at Base Canyon, and then super randomly, synchronistically met in the, super long cattle run back to the camping. He just happened to be walking right behind me, and somebody recognized him and said something out loud so I could turn around and meet him. It was going to be great. It will happen in the future. He's dealing with some, unspecified personal something or other that he let us know he's not going to be able to be here today. So bummer on that. So we're going to wing a totally different subject, unprepared. But, come on, y'all know us. We don't prepare.
Yeah. Start dropping those questions too.
Yeah,
right
if you
now,
have the questions, put them in the chat. Slapzilla in the building.
Episode.
Slapzilla always be coming in with the clutch question. So dude, now that Slap's here, but what we're gonna start with as our first thing we're doing here is we're gonna talk about balance. How does one balance? How does a human go from being a person who wants to be a total producer, working their butt off, making music every day, and also balance that with taking care of yourself and your human body that, so it doesn't fall apart by the time we're 40 or whatever, and we're not just, dead to the world at that point. How do we achieve that balance?
Right.
Spoiler alert,
Wow.
none of us knows. But we're gonna see if we can share some tips and tricks, and if any of y'all know
harder we're gonna see
anything at all in the chat, give us a shout out. Yeah. We'll talk about whatever you say. Swear to God. We're like Ron Burgundy. If it's on the prompter, we will read it. Go fuck yourself, San Diego.
Yeah, go fuck yourself, San Diego.
You fucking whale's vagina.
Participation encouraged and actually needed, because this is a topic that I actually is very near and dear to my thought process right now. As getting towards the finish line on this album, just daily stuff, my reminder on my phone that pops out, hey, you need to work out. And I'm like, are you serious, dude? I gotta finish this album. Are you joking? I'm not gonna work out right now. I have too much shit to do. You even know me? Phone? Obviously I'm not gonna do that. Whoever put that reminder in there is stupid. But it's nearly impossible, especially for something like music where as you get good at it, and you realize how much of your time and effort you need to put into it, it kind of blocks off the rest of keeping your human operating function. It's all no, that's not important, and that's not important. No, I need to finish the song. That's the only thing that exists. And obviously that's not healthy either. And for instance, I was thinking to myself, okay, so right now you're finishing an album and you're prioritizing literally everything under the finishing of the music, but then it's not this is the only time that this type of period in your life is going to be happening. It's not this is the only album and the only collection of songs you're ever going to make. And say they did actually do as well as I would want, it's not you're just going to have a bunch more time and less deadlines and less pressure to finish stuff. So it's not a good excuse at any time to ignore your humanly duties to keep yourself running at top performance. So yeah, that's really the genesis of this for me. And yeah, what do you guys think? What
good music comes from people who are relaxed, Morty. And so do some yoga, I guess.
That's funny as fuck.
It's good for me. I know I don't do enough of it these days. This whole pandemic thing's really killed my ability to go to a yoga studio. And, I know it's really, if I walk or drive somewhere else to where I pay money to a human who says this is lasting an hour, it's really easy for me to do yoga for an hour or an hour and a half or any kinds of workouts at all that I walked there and signed up for. But when I'm at my house, there's just way too many distractions for me to get past that 5 minutes of, I did a couple of stretches. I don't feel quite as bad as I did. And now I'm going to go sit again and just deepen this rut in my muscles of sitting in this same fucking chair all the time. It's a thing. But yeah, like you said, this one album that you feel is so important right now, or that's one single you got to finish, or whatever one thing your conscious brain can convince you to neglect your health for, is not going to be the last thing. And you got to find a way to balance this shit. I know I got to find a way to balance this shit. One thing I've been thinking about is routines, little things to help us get, on track, like routines, like morning routines. The morning pages are a good one. And I've also been making sure to hydrate in the morning when I first wake up before caffeine. That's been really helpful. Wakes my brain up before I jolt my brain with caffeine. Hey, yeah, cheers to that. Woo! Water break.
Stay hydrated. Stay hydrated.
And I've also been thinking about what could be an evening routine that I get into to wind myself down, stop my screen time, you know, do some maybe stretching again, maybe, you know, maybe meditation. I don't know exactly yet, but that's something I wrote about in my morning pages today, which just goes to show that morning pages are a helpful part of routine. Because if you don't know what to write about, you can write about, why is my life so unbalanced? Let me examine this.
Yeah, I feel like that's what my morning pages like always turn into, like a self-critique of like, why are you fucking up so hard? Like that's literally
Why are you like this?
Yeah, why are you like this? You idiot. Oh my God, do better. Do better. Like no excuses. Don't be a fucking jellyfish. Like be a more big animal that does cooler things. One thing that I actually found,
bite things with your face for dinner.
See, I wanted to say that, but being a wolf, like even though I do identify very, very strongly with a wolf creature, it's so cliche to be like, don't be a wolf, you know, or be a lion. And then I just got stuck in between things. One thing that I actually found, because I sometimes struggle to write morning pages, even though it is like so beneficial to help like clear your mind of those like point at yourself, do better things. Like those float around and like poison your subconscious, right? So it's tough for me to keep a regular habit of doing morning pages because it's just one of those things where I'm like, yeah, but I could just start working on this song because I know I have a list in my head of shit that I need to work on. I actually combined my daily guitar riff and singing, you know, exercise into writing like I write a guitar riff, say it's like a chorus, and then I will write lyrics that are morning pages type stuff, you know, something I've been thinking about, or like something your subconscious bubbles up, and then write them out, come up with a melody for it, sing it in, export it. And that's, you know, an idea for later. If it's good, great. If not, who cares? But it's like, it's good practice combining all of the things that I want to be doing. I guess that's kind of how my brain works though. It's like, I need to have like a set, efficient purpose for everything that I'm doing. Otherwise, I can't make it a routine. And like you said, routines are like king when it comes to changing your life. And so, you know, that's something that I've picked up on, like figure out a way to basically sneak in those things you need to do for yourself by combining them with something else, maybe that you find more enjoyable or that is more creatively stimulating.
Yeah, one thing that's worked real well for me as well is realizing that you will inevitably fail. And no matter how strong your character is or how much you want to do the right things, sometimes you just will not. And that's because, you know, especially I found when I was like working full time and then I'd come back and try to enforce all these great habits, like I'm going to cook a meal and then I'm going to produce and I'm going to get this much done and I'm going to do this, and that. And I have 5 things on the list and then I do 1 or 2 and then I hate myself because I'm like, man, I was hoping to be a lot further, blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, I guess 2 things. One is realizing that if you're aiming higher and trying to better yourself and do all these things, you're constantly going to be falling short of where you're at. That's how you keep achieving more than if you just set goals like right at the threshold of what you can do, right? That's at least it means that you're pushing yourself to do more. It's kind of makes me think of that quote of like, shoot to the moon. And even if you miss, you'll land among the stars or whatever. It's like the same kind of idea, right? And the other thing is, if your character will inevitably fail and your willpower will be exhausted and all of these things, and you know that your actions are inconsistent with what you want to be doing, then I always think of the path of least resistance. Everything in nature follows that. And I think if you can make what you want to be doing the easier thing to be doing, you will do it way more often than if it is one of the harder options to do. So for example, when I was working on music and I had my own apartment, I had, 2-3 weeks where I was going in on writing some songs, and I turned my whole living room to a vocal booth. I turned my couch on its side and then props, blankets like all across my living room. There was one chair in front of the computer, right? You know, like game systems, like unplugged, like all that stuff. Like, you know, I like gaming. I don't think there's anything bad with it, but like, I don't want it to be the easiest choice when I come home exhausted and I know I'm supposed to be working, because one game turns into 3 and then you're watching Netflix after because you're already in that momentum. So just don't even let the momentum build up. You know, like if you're, for example, if your laptop's in a specific room, like I started writing way more music when I just set it on the couch where I found myself always crashing after work. And now I can sit back, be a potato for the next 2 hours because I'm exhausted, but at least my laptop and mic are right next to me. And I can just lay there, grab the thing. If I have ideas, go back, whatever, my laptop's there, I can produce all that stuff. And it's real comfy. And I'm not forcing myself to sit upright in my studio and be like all proper about this shit and be worried about mic placement and blah, 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 ideal listening environment, all of this stuff. And just realize that, like, man, I'm coming home and not achieving the goal I've set for myself, which is sit in the studio and make music. How do I raise the bar, or how do I bring the bar a bit lower so that I can consistently collect this win every single day and not get distracted by side stuff?
Yeah, I really like this concept a lot of making the better thing that you would prefer to do, that you would intend to do, the easier thing to do. I do that with meal prep sometimes, where it's like, you know, sometimes the biggest barrier to eating a healthy meal is how long it takes to eat a healthy meal compared to like opening a bag of chips, you know? Yeah. But then if you like, okay, you finally get I'm going to chop a shit ton of vegetables to make a salad. And how much time of that is like getting out all the vegetables, putting away all the vegetables, and then cleaning up the counter afterwards, right? Like that is like probably half the total time, no matter if I chop one salad bowl's worth of vegetables or the next 10 salads worth of vegetables at the same time. So what I would do is I would fill like my biggest mixing bowl in the kitchen with all the chopped vegetables and then take like 2 handfuls out for this salad. And then next time I'm hungry, it's like, well, I could eat this granola bar, or I could take a handful of salad and pour dressing on it and I'm eating a healthy meal. And it's basically the same amount of effort. And I will feel better if I eat the salad. So I'll do that now. And, you know, there it is. It's there for a stir fry. It's there for, you know, and similar, you know, it's kind of similar with like doing all the nighttime sessions to prep for a studio session. It's like I had Sam Shoemaker over last night and I banged out 2 beats really quick because I only used sounds that I had prepped in the last couple of weeks and put in folders that were really easy to find. It's like, oh, you like this tempo? Here's a bunch of stuff at this tempo. Boom, 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 boom. Here's some loops. Now here's some 1-shots to fill in the spaces. Wow, a beat just came together. All right, let's make a second one. You know, finding those things to prep so that what you actually want to do in your life is the actual easiest thing to do.
Yeah. Dude, honestly, the nutrition, like day to day, is probably the biggest thing that I could improve upon. I admittedly do not eat enough salads or anything like that. Can you share some of your favorite, like, you know, healthy, easy to put together, you know, might require some prep or whatever, like breakfast and lunches? Like dinners is fine because you got like some time set aside to put it together and it's kind of a team effort with me and my girl, but lunches and stuff, terrible for myself.
I mean, having that bowl of prepped chopped vegetables and you can just like throw it in a pan and crack a couple eggs on top of it. And you got protein and veggies and fiber and vitamins first thing in the morning. That's like really good. You know, I think so like that same principle really applies. You know, and then also just like if you got time in the evening, make way too much food so you have some extra for lunch tomorrow, just already in the Tupperware. All you got to do is heat it up or eat it cold. Fuck it. You know, like either way, you know, if you make a big healthy meal when you got time, one of my favorites I call beef down, and I'll like brown a pound of ground beef with maybe some like onions and mushrooms and spices in it. And then at the same time, I'll have like a pot where I've got some like diced sweet potatoes or potatoes boiling. And on top of that, I'll put my metal colander full of chopped vegetables, probably from that same bowl of chopped vegetables in the fridge, and just dump those in there and steam them on top. And then I just pour everything together and cover it in butter and, you know, soak up all the beef fat with it. And it's got everything you need. It's super delicious because the beef fat's on all the veggies. A lot of butter in there, that good Kerrygold butter I like to use, and a little bit of that pink salt, and then boom, you know, you're done. That shit's super good. And the longer that shit sits around, the flavors all kind of mush together. So it's like, you know, it just keeps getting better. So if you make like a huge pot of it, you know, it's like your next 5 meals. And
It's gonna keep getting better.
And it just every time you eat it, it keeps getting better. Yeah, it keeps really well.
Yeah, I love anything where you can just make a bunch at a time. Like chili is such a good one. You just throw a bunch of shit in, throw some spices, makes your house smell amazing. And then you have food for a couple days. Pasta sauce is really amazing too, because you can just separate it out into bowls and just take a few days worth out at a time. And there's some like good pastas you can find too, like made out of chickpea or black beans and stuff like that. And then my favorite go-to is just buy a pack of chicken breasts, some peppers, some mushrooms, some onions. Literally just chop that shit up, portion it off into 4 bags, and then throw some spices in, and you have like 2-3 weeks worth of fajitas. And you can just take it out of the freezer, stick it in the fridge the night before. It's like good enough to break apart with your hands, and then just squeeze some out of the bag into the thing, and you just cook some. You just slap it into a tortilla, eat that with yogurt. It's so easy. It takes maybe like 45
So you had me until fajita yogurt, huh?
You mean
fajita
like
and yogurt.
Tzatziki?
I'm thinking sour
I just
cream.
do Greek yogurt or Balkan yogurt.
Okay.
On the fajita?
Not on it. Like I'll put the fajita in the tortilla, and then I'll eat that, and then I'll take a thing of yogurt.
Okay.
You know, I've never tried it, so I can't knock it.
Yeah, I'm just new to
it.
Me.
It is.
Anybody in the chat
amazing
ever do the pairing of Greek yogurt and fajitas? I want to see if anybody else is on this.
Just like unflavored, right? Just like normal, like straight.
Yeah. Like Greek or Balkan yogurt. It's got a bit of a taste to it, but it's not like.
It's kind of like, honestly, like unflavored Greek yogurt, or what, I don't know if it's called unflavored, but it's got like kind
original.
Yeah. It's got like kind of a tang to it, which I like. I could kind of see that would go with fajita.
Yeah, chat's backing me up here. You got to try this.
You sure your fajita isn't like made of like lamb and you put it on like a pita bread,
chicken.
And then you got like yogurt that's actually got like some dill in it?
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, the chat is really backing you up. Apparently, Rip, Kenny, and I are just
the real
not up on this shit.
Oh my god!
Right?
Dude.
Just like this little fair amount of people jumping in behind you.
Oh.
All right. Yeah. It's just
that's
like, let's
probably
see what
my favorite go-to meal.
Let's see what the chat's talking about for healthy shit. You know, let's see. We got Sephro saying take your vitamins. Can't argue with that shit. I've heard you should research your kind of vitamins, because if they take too long to dissolve, you just poop out whole vitamins. So get fast dissolve vitamins. Yeah, I heard a vitamin sales rep call the ones that are too slow dissolving bowl ringers.
What is the vitamin?
You get it, Tesko.
Is the vitamin he was selling like the foremost expert in breaking down before you shit it out?
Yeah, probably. But you know, just a thought. Secret guest,
it's on the internet, so it must be true.
Secret guest says he keeps weights in his studio. That makes sense. That way, you know, you can be sitting there listening to your song thinking, what the hell am I supposed to do next? And you just take a step to the side and, you know, get a little pump on. I'm into that.
Yo,
if your mix isn't heavy, you just throw that 45 plate on your speaker and you're good.
Dude, anytime you're bouncing something, freezing, flattening, opening a project, there's some sort of loading bar or anything, like stand up and stretch. Like, it is the simplest hack that I can give literally everyone. It works every single time to give you just a little bit more energy. And it's perfect too, because that loading bar always takes like 30 seconds to a minute. Or if you're like me and have like 4 arrangements of the same song that you haven't committed to either one yet, and freezing and flattening something takes 4 minutes because the whole arrangement is way too long, then you can do like basically a whole yoga stretch routine. But
yeah, right. Bang out some push-ups, do some squats. That's a good call. Another one from Sephros talks about riding a bike because he finds that finding a type of exercise that doubles as fun helps with the motivation to do it. Amen.
I feel you on the bike, bro.
Yeah, I know you do. Fucking this week on the Mr. Bilk podcast, Dylan and Bill were talking about a lot of things, and then they got to mountain biking, and then ridiculous how dangerous it can be, and talked about Matt the Alien and Rip Kenny's each had some pretty epic crashes last year and injuries. So glad you're doing a lot better there, Evan, and thoughts go out to Matt the Alien.
Dude, yeah,
get better.
I didn't get it nearly as bad as he did. I think it's so funny though. It's like, Mom, I finally made it. Like, I'm on like an official like big producer podcast. Like, tons of people listen to this. Like, my name's out there. But like, they didn't talk about the music at all. They just talked about how hard I ate shit on my mountain bike.
Yeah,
like, really hard.
But in the context of really dope producers that mountain bike. So it's like implied that you were worth talking about on this producer podcast because they were only talking about that Bill and Matt the Alien and you are all dope people in the music space that all mountain bike, and that some of y'all have ate shit.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. I gotta listen to. I haven't listened to it, so I gotta hear the context for myself. I just think that's so funny. Though.
It's a really good episode overall. Okay. Dylan's actually interviewing Bill about his new album mostly. Really? So yeah, it's a switcheroo episode. Definitely everybody go check that out. Obviously, y'all producer nerds who like podcasts, if you're not listening to the Mr. Bill podcast, you're silly. Plus, he's got a new theme song, which is really good. It's really good. Highly recommend.
Damn, we need a theme song.
So good.
Boop, boop, boop.
What do you mean? We got a hook.
I like it.
We just got a hook.
I like
it.
it.
No beat, just a hook.
Hey, sometimes that's all you need.
Yeah.
It's like, remember there was that old Murphy Lee song? Yo, what's the hook gonna be? Yo, we don't need a fucking hook on this beat. We'll just flip it. We were like, yo, how the beat gonna look? We don't need a fucking beat on this hook. Oh, old ass rap references. Hi guys, that's me. Let's see, New Maps talking about journal entries said their journal entries have been like that lately. Instead of motivating me, they make me stand back and think, fuck, I'm insane. To which me and Evan were both like, yeah, me too. Yeah, we're all crazy. Don't worry about that. Slapzilla asked, do you guys have any favorite weed strains that enhance your creative production capabilities? For me, no, they are all performance shifting. I wouldn't say detrimental or enhancing either way. It's just I am a different producer when I'm high on weed than I was, and I get different types of shit done. If I'm high, I'll usually pick different types of tasks. Smoking weed and organizing your library, it can make that tedious task feel a little more interesting, which is cool. But no particular strain there. I think, go with what you like. If you're into heady sativas, do that. If you're into chill ass indicas, do that, But, do what you like, or smoke zero weed. I endorse all those things. How about you?
Yeah, I feel like it's like purpose built for nighttime sessions or like experimentation or creative explorations. As far as like writing a song, I mean, like honestly, Dylan nailed it in the ill methodology. Like you start to finish, you like can't be in that headspace because you just end up going down too many rabbit holes. But it is incredible for sound design, incredible for modular. It's super fun to just sit there and drool over sounds. Like it's so much fun. And also if you're like you know, well in, like, you have the structure of the beat and like everything is there, except you're trying to just make stuff cooler. Like, that's also a good time for it, because you're just like, you get into more of a, oh, I could do this, and oh, I could do that. And it's not for anything that's like gonna change the face of the song, right? Like, oh, like this sound is so basic. Oh, I could do this and I could layer it with that. And then ultimately you'll have to wake up sober the next day and be like, okay, let's rein it in here. This layer acts that. Doesn't need to be there at all. This entire idea is just overcomplicated. But this piece of sound design, oh my God, it's so good. You just need to balance the two, right? Right? Balance. Theme of the podcast here.
Oh,
okay,
he said the thing that's in the name of the episode. Oh, yeah.
I did do that.
It's like a
Brilliant.
thesis statement in a 5-paragraph essay. You gotta like really
It's like
hammer
a
that
motif.
shit home.
Yeah, you gotta hammer it.
Motif,
But
that
no,
keyboard? Yeah, those are classic.
They both have their place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a little mixed on it. I think I agree with Sephiroth here. As much as I like indulging, I'm always promote abstinence OG as my favorite strain, because I think it definitely can be a beneficial thing. And I, without fail, every time after going a couple weeks without it, have some kind of breakthrough when I sit down. But I think, honestly, it's a little overrated. I think people just like to feel good when they do shit instead of not feeling good when they do shit. And people will back it up and say it does a lot for them. And I'm not saying it doesn't have a bunch of amazing benefits. But as somebody that likes it, I feel like if I'm going to stay unbiased, I don't particularly condone it in terms of creativity, because I think in the long term, the performance enhancing benefits and focus you get outweighs, whatever creative stuff. That being said, I'm also not talking to the person who has been very sheltered and like never had any mind altering experience. But to the people who are questioning, like, should I stop for a while? Should I maybe take a period without it and make a choice for yourself,
Weed breaks are a great idea. I did one last week of like 4 days. I did one at the beginning of the year of like 4 months. So I did about 7 years off for a while there.
Damn.
Wow.
Sometimes you need the
Holy
breaks.
shit.
I mean, Heike, though, just on that 7 years off thing, I thought the reason I quit because weed gives me anxiety. And when I started again, I realized, oh no, I'm anxious all the time. When I get high is the only time I can pretend I'm not. And so I guess I needed that time to like grow up a little bit. And then when I came back to it, it was like, oh, you know what? I'm going to specifically smoke to examine this anxiety and learn to just dive headfirst into it and get down in the mud with it and like figure out this stuff. And it was actually a really helpful tool once I wasn't afraid of that space. And
yeah, that's a go. No, continue.
I was going to say, and as far as like anybody who doesn't really smoke weed, tolerance is real as fuck. Like if you smoke weed every day, then it's no different if you just like also smoke while you're producing, because that's just your mind state. That's where you're at. That's what your chemical balance is used to balance again. But if you never smoke weed and you're like, oh yeah, I'm going to smoke this strain that my homie said makes him really creative and then get shit done. No, you won't. No, you won't. No, you won't. You will get really high and not know what to do with yourself, most likely. So yeah, tolerance is real as hell. If you don't know how to operate in that dimension, you might as well just fucking take and eat the mushrooms and look at your keyboard like,
Yeah, I also want to reference what Goostronics is saying, and this is the main reason why I don't condone it, because I kind of feel the same. And he's saying I have serious trouble stopping. And I feel like it goes in and out of phases, where it's like, I don't personally find like, I don't know. I just think it gets overhyped a lot. And I think this stuff can be a slippery slope. And then you find yourself in a position where you're like, oh, it's actually difficult and I'm having trouble sleeping and eating and all this stuff now. So I think being mindful of it, but if you find yourself in that kind of position, I think it's better not to. And I think all of the benefits that people talk about, creatively anyway, are a little overhyped, and you'll far more benefit from the productivity boost than you will feeling good in the studio.
The productivity boost of sobriety.
Yeah, just staying more focused. Like, the way I see it is like, if I'm not like hard to one or the other side, but I think there is a difference in your approach to getting a task done when you're like, I want to feel good and sit down and do this thing, versus when you're like, I do not give one single fuck about my feelings and I am just going to be productive. Like, I'm going to be a machine. And those are like two different kind of, I don't want to say states you could go into, but those are two very different approaches. And I think you need times for both. And if you're always just treating it as a fun thing, but you're trying to make this a serious career, then you definitely need phases where you're not, your breaks aren't used to go take another toke. And your refresher is something a little more productive, where you actually go meditate and you stay focused at the task at hand. Because, man, I could go on this rabbit hole for a while, but I think there's a lot of things right now that give us these spikes of dopamine and take our attention on all these tangents and rabbit holes. And it's just another thing that kind of feeds that cycle. And I think when you're going through a period where you're really focused, I think doing like a dopamine detox, I know it's kind of like a pseudoscience-y term and not really proven, but I do think there is a benefit to just, again, taking a period where you stop taking your good feelings into consideration and you stop caring about making the priority feeling good in the studio, and you actually just get in there and stop listening to that voice in your head, and you just sit the fuck down for 10 hours and you get shit done sober.
Yeah. And I also think of it like this a little bit. Like, if you do it enough that it's like kind of your baseline mental state, then like you don't really get the benefit for your music that you would, right? Like, so for instance, like, it is good to break you out of like how you've thought about this song for a while. You worked on the song for 40 hours, sober all 40, and then you smoke some weed and listen to it after taking a little break. You're gonna listen to it in a different way, more like removed from all of the stuff that you were just focusing on so intently. And that's like the benefit of like making it the exception, is that then it is a different way to think about what you're doing. But if it's you sat down to write the beat and you were already high, like that, there's no benefit to listening to it sober. It's not going to sound better sober. Yeah. Or you're not going to think of it like you can only work forwards into that. You can't work backwards.
Totally. Yeah. I love when you need a fresh perspective. That's why it's a love-hate thing, because like you said, when you take time away from it, then it's like, you definitely feel it when you have no tolerance. And that's when I find like I said, without fail, always have these breakthroughs and like realize certain like traps I was falling into, or certain stuff that I was not questioning, but just kind of doing subconsciously. And I feel like I definitely get benefit from that. Same with like a track that you started or you had sitting around a while and you're kind of tunnel visioned. I feel like it always resets me back on track. But is it enough to warrant condoning it and telling other people to do it? I'm a still lean towards no, but it's like a multivariable thing, right? I still indulge and like it and will continue to, but it's also like, just because I like it, I'm not gonna, not keep it real with you guys and tell you how I actually feel about it and what I think. Cause, if we're trying to be at the top level of what we're doing, then we need to consider all these things.
Amen. And, the podcast episode being about balance, it's so easy to get out of balance with these substances that instantly make us feel better, that give us that dopamine hit that achieving something does. Like, if you spend tens of hours to make a super dope song, you're going to get that dopamine hit, but it's kind of a delayed gratification, and, if you're in that flow state, you feel really good all the way through. But, sometimes just hitting that drug that drink, that smoke, whatever, like that gives you that hit. And then like, and it's like, oh, why am I motivated to go get it the long way? And, you know, again, I smoke weed. My buddy just bought me a Rick and Morty themed bong. Now, I'm not going to quit now. It's, you know, it's too good. Too many multiverses to explore. But, you know, but also taking breaks, being honest with myself about, you know, am I smoking the pipe or is the pipe smoking me? You know, that's something my dad taught me back in the day, you know, when, you know, I was like maybe in college or something, like, hey, just make sure you're smoking a pipe and it's not smoking you, buddy. You know, and it's, you know, be aware of your balance, be honest with yourself, take those breaks, you know, have times where you skip cravings, where you're like, oh, I'm going to smoke right now. You know what? I actually don't need to right now. Honestly, I can stay right where I'm at, keep working, and I don't need to smoke. Or maybe I can get the same kind of like, you know, benefit from like eating, the benefit I'm going for by like eating or drinking some water or doing some stretching or working out while this, you know, song is bouncing. Like there's other answers, and they don't all have to be let's get high.
Definitely. And I want to bring up this comment Sephro said, I really wish I was the kind of person to be able to moderate with things, but I'm very obsessive, and whatever I do, I tend to do too much. It's a weird all or nothing complex I have. Super frustrating. I empathize, definitely. And it's easy to look at it in a negative context and be like, this, you know, I struggle with this. I have a hard time. I'm obsessive. I do all the wrong things. But it's like, you're also at the dojo, which means you're obsessive about the right things too. And I think it's just kind of a balancing game where if let's say your baseline level of dopamine is here and weed gets you to here, for example, if you can up your daily routine to be closer up to here where weed isn't doing as much to you, you're going to have a much easier time quitting. I think it's just hard, you know, or whatever like substance it is. I think when stuff starts getting harder, you start putting more pressure on yourself, you start judging yourself harder, you start really getting in your own head. This is where I think it becomes a slippery slope and people get caught up in it quicker than they realize. And again, that's the reason why, you know, I would never condone doing something for creativity that could have negative effects like throughout your life. And yes, it's like a more moderate kind of substance or whatever. But I think, again, just kind of playing devil's advocate to this conversation, which for the last 10 years has been pot is great, pot is great, pot is great, solves everything. And just realizing that, like, as artists, you know, we can be maybe a little more ADD sometimes. We can be a little more stuck in our heads sometimes, maybe a little more obsessive and all of that. And I just want to encourage people to be real with themselves. And, you know, if you haven't done a sober session in the last like couple months, then I am just not going to take your word for it when you're like, oh, I could do it without, or I don't need it or whatever. Like, at the end of the day, the voice in your head will always be honest with you and you cannot run from it. And I think deep down, everybody knows moderation is key and balance, like we're talking about today. But yeah, I don't know. It's just, I think, you know, it's often brushed to the side and people are like, nope, I like this thing. It makes me feel cool. It makes me feel creative. So I'm going to keep doing it. But, you know, just watch out for your mental health, guys, because shit gets real and it's a slippery slope, like I said. And you will be creative without any of these things.
Amen. Yeah, I also really don't like the argument that like drugs bring creativity. I think being a human being brings creativity, and drugs are all over the place, different substances, the ones our brain makes, the ones the plants make, whatever, you know. But, you know, like people are like, oh yeah, Lewis Carroll wrote Alice in Wonderland. He must have been on acid for that. No, I think he just was an interesting dude making up silly stories like for a kid. And acid was like not invented when he was alive. So, you know, I think creativity just happens. People have been creative forever. People have also been getting high for basically forever too. So again, just balance, like be healthy. If you notice something's taking over your life, or that the things you want to do are now more difficult because of this substance, stop, take a break. If you need help or an accountability buddy, please find that help. It's out there. So,
Totally.
balance.
Yeah.
Thanks
and
for
again,
that question about weed strains. It was a very innocent, fun question that we went on a deep dive
It's
about.
important though. Like
Addiction and shit too.
Most people
yeah,
just
I feel
kinda
like it's
fucking
important.
skip over that shit. Yeah, it's super
Yeah.
important.
Again, because everybody's just like, oh, it's amazing, can't do no harm, cures everything. And it's like, yeah, it is definitely amazing, and definitely it's fucked
Helps.
up that it's illegal in the States.
Nobody should be in a cage for it, for sure.
Definitely. But, people also got to be honest about the other side. I think
Be
that's
realistic.
not talked about enough. But, again, if you're having troubles like quitting and whatever, like, again, make it harder to fall back into the habit than to get back into it. Like, I just don't keep lighters around or papers or nothing like that, because it's just one less step to getting a bud, finding a thing to smoke it out of, and doing it. I feel very happy in a medium where I just consume if it's around, but try not to for myself, or just keep it in a totally different place so that when I'm at home, when I'm in my workspace, it's not even around. Because definitely, like, I'm the type, when I get into the routine, if it's around, I'm going to indulge. And I love getting caffeinated and blazed and just working on stuff. But, over time, like, I would notice that stuff makes me a little more anxious, and it like makes me a little less settled mentally with my thoughts and all that stuff. And the studio boost is nice, but being focused 24/7 makes me get more done anyway. So
yeah, you need to have the total package to be able to come up with a creative output that is actually going to move the needle for you. And like, if you're trying to take this production thing seriously or take it to the next level, right, you gotta have that balance in your life to be able to get everything done. That it actually takes so much to release music at a high level. Like, you need to be able to balance all those parts of your life to get it done, right? So we talked a little bit about some mental stuff, some nutrition stuff. What are you guys' like favorite habits or tricks to like get a little bit of, physical boost, some workouts, some yoga, other than standing up and stretching a little bit? Like, what do you guys do to actually keep your physical shape up? I mean, for one, everyone needs to hear this. If you're producing music, you are at length, maybe all day, very large portions of your day, in the worst possible physical position for your body. You are a shrimp. You're just shrimping it right in front of the computer, and your back is hunched, and your neck's forward, and you're just terrible.
I'm more of a banana posture kind of guy myself.
Dude, when I play guitar, I am the shrimpiest shrimp of all time. I don't know what it is, but I just start shrimping so hard.
You gotta put your sheet music on the ceiling. So
it takes me like dude, if I'm playing guitar for like an hour, my back is wrecked. And like the thing is, like, I don't have a mirror in front of me to be like, yo, like, you're shrimping hard, dude. You gotta stop. And so I'll just like be playing guitar, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, my back hurts really bad. Anyway,
just tape it.
You can't escape it. You need to balance out the shrimp life with actually taking care of your body. So what are some healthy tips and tricks to avoid?
I'm gonna get shrimp life tatted across my shriveled pecs like Tupac.
Shrimp gang.
Yeah, not Squid Gang, just Shrimp Gang.
Yeah.
So for me, I got turned on to this app last year called FitOn, FITON. It's a free app. I think there's a paid version where you get like meal plans and some sort of bonus content or something, but I've never bothered paying for it. The free version has just tons of workouts between like 5 minutes and 30 minutes that are in all sorts of, just like simple stretching, super chill, workouts, tough workouts, Pilates, yoga, weight training, interval training. There's all sorts of different stuff. And so you can just like pop on there and just, okay, well, I got 10 minutes and I want to do like a chill exercise. And you can like put those in the search and that's what'll come up. Or you can do like little challenges where it was like, okay, I'm going to get, this many exercises done this month. And then the app will remind you like, hey, you're a little behind on your, send you a push notification that you're behind on your numbers. And, I think I currently am.
Drop the name of the app in the chat for
It's called Fit On. FITON, like get your fit on.
Okay, that's pretty simple.
Yeah, pretty simple, but it's a really good app. It's on your phone. You can get it on a tablet. You just
download it right now.
Do it anywhere in the world. Yeah, that one's been really clutch for me. That's how I've been staying sort of fit during the time where I'm not going to a real yoga studio. Although I gotta like hit up these yoga studios I used to go to, and I imagine they're probably starting to open back up. And I don't know about going to hot yoga with a mask on. That might actually kill me. Or maybe it's just like you sweat extra. You know what I'm saying? This you really get your money's worth going to hot yoga with a mask on.
Can we acknowledge that shrimp pic?
Yeah, this little king shrimp fucking tipping his crown cap at us. Thanks, Goosetronics.
Thank you.
Just need one of a shrimp playing guitar, and then like really it's me.
Oh, hey, yo! I'm so glad Goosetronics and Miko just at the same minute brought up Wim Hof Breathing Techniques. If y'all don't know who Wim Hof is, he's the Iceman. He like does like super cold water, endurance athletics, climbs mountains in shorts and no shirt, and he's developed this breathing technique where, pardon me if I'm not getting this exactly right, but basically you like fill up your lungs all the way and then just let out a little bit of air, just like, just from your momentum, like, and just keep coming back to the top. And you do this like over and over, like 30, 40, 50 times. And it like highly oxygenates your body. And it also like apparently like makes your body less acidic, and it warms up your body a ton and allows you to stay warmer. And, if you think about that, like if you ever go do any athletics outdoors, you show up and it's like, oh shit, it's really cold for the soccer game. But by the time you're running around and breathing hard, you feel warm. You're not even thinking about the cold anymore. And that's the basic idea. A lot of people do that, like, turn the shower knob over to cold at the end of their shower. I do that sometimes and do that breathing technique until, just basically stay there until the cold doesn't bother me anymore, until the cold feels normal.
I've done that like before getting in like a cold river or something. Like I've done that and it absolutely works. I never thought about doing it, or maybe just thought it was like too much or excessive to do daily. Like, but I've never just like done it as like a daily thing, as like a break. I'm curious what y'all in the chat do with the Wim Hof to like, how do you integrate it into your day, right? Like what is
Miko says multiple times a day, especially if I feel emotionally dysregulated or anxious or need to focus. So yeah,
I gotta try it.
Yeah, it's real as hell. It like changes your whole outlook really quickly.
Yeah, it does. It does work.
It only takes like 2 or 3 times before you don't even hesitate to just step under it. Like I had a period where I was just doing cold showers straight for like a month and a half.
Yeah,
and
cold showers only.
Cold showers only.
Oh man, that's brutal.
See, I start them hot to do all the things I need to do, wash my face and shit, and then I like switch it cold for the last few minutes. But Tesko's hardcore.
Man, the alpha squirrel. Why does it feel like a form of torture though? That's what I'm saying. It's like it's a little extreme, and like
think of it.
Its benefits are so worth it, but I guess I'm just like not sitting here like, I'm about to do some Wim Hof before I produce.
I mean, think of this. If you're trying to get more control in your life and you're in a situation where your body is screaming, no, don't step under this, and you go against those thoughts that are occurring in your brain, it helps you, I don't want to say detach from your emotions, but it helps you be a little more independent of your emotions. And obviously it fucking sucks, bro. Like the first 2 or 3 times, every time I'm getting back into it, if I'm doing just cold, I'm like watching just the water go out of the thing. And I'm just like, I can feel my heart rate getting faster. Internally, I just feel like the stress building up and I don't want to. And it feels like when you're standing at the edge of like a cliff or like a tower or something, and you're like, you're feeling kind of wobbly, you're feeling weird. And then you go in and then it sucks and you're like, your breathing all like speeds up and it fucking sucks. And then you just relax and you just let it happen to you and you just submit to the cold water. That's the biggest thing. Just submit to it, get in, take a deep breath. Don't tense up as it hits you. Just relax into it. And honestly, after 2-3 times, like, I don't know. Most people's reaction when I tell them I just do pure cold showers, which I don't now, by the way. I won't even play off like I'm some YouTube guru that does this 24/7 and I am an enlightened individual. I think anybody that's saying they do this shit all the time is bullshitting.
I don't know. Wim Hof be doing that shit all the time.
I mean, but that's like a different case. There's like, I think people on the internet will have you feeling bad about not, keeping meticulous track of your goals and not drinking 2 liters or however much you need of water and meditating 2 hours a day and reading 7 books a day. Like, people will make you feel bad for that. But at the end of the day, like 99.9% of people are not doing this shit all the time. But it's good for you to try out for the mental exercise of it. Like, or I don't know. To me, I didn't go into it. Sorry, I was just going to say, I didn't go into it being like, I love the feeling of just cold water. It was just like, I'm going to do a period of this to just undoubtedly see like what are the benefits of just pure cold showers.
And science. A man of science has to test the hypothesis and actually get the results.
And just for some practical ass benefits, when you get out of a hot shower and then immediately out of the hot shower, the bathroom feels freezing cold and then you're shivering, but your body is still super hot. So you're sweating, which makes you even colder. And then you're like, I just got clean and I'm already covered in sweat. Yeah. That's like the worst thing. That is the logical reason I give myself for needing to turn the shower cold at the end, because it's like, okay, I can get out of, and you turn off a cold shower, the bathroom feels like the warmest, most pleasant place in the world, and you're not sweating at all. You're just like, oh, yep, ready for life.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
So New Maps says, takes me back to the days I spent in Sweden, hot sauna to a frozen lake, back and forth.
That's amazing.
I could not love that anymore. When there's snow on the ground here in Bend, beautiful Bend, Oregon, when there's snow on the ground, we got our hot tub in the backyard. That is literally my favorite. In the hot tub, jump out, full snowman in the ground for 30 seconds, however long you could stand it, get back in the hot tub. It's like extremely good for your circulation. So, I mean, you could even do that in the shower, right? Instead of just going cold at the end to get out, you could do hot, cold, and then get out. I know it's probably hard to like also wash your body while you're managing the temperature a million times.
I don't know. You just move the thing and then keep soaping yourself and then move the thing again and rinse yourself off and then move the thing again while you're washing your face. And,
for like healing injuries or like improving your circulation, or you got like a sore back or something stiff, like hot cold cycles are huge in like getting that to feel normal again, and actually loosen up and function like you wanted to.
Amen.
Totally. I really just have one last note on the topic. I think the biggest thing that helped me with all this self-help productivity stuff is not getting lost. What's that saying? Actually, it's like don't lose the forest for the trees or something. It's like, don't get so caught up on cold showers and all of this stuff. If there's other stuff in your life that's falling apart, that will give you more bang for your buck to address. That's so really good point. Everybody is going to be selling. You should be reading, 60 books a year, and you should be doing this and that, and you need to be meditating 2 hours a day, and all of this stuff that, in an ideal world, this sounds great. But at the end of the day, for example, if you feel like you have like substance problems or something, fuck cold showers and take care of that first. The other thing too is if you feel like cold showers are going to fix your life, but you're eating 1 meal a day, sleeping 4 hours, make it make sense.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, don't meditate for 2 hours and just get 2 more hours of sleep. Get your sleep on track and your nutrition.
Bruh,
That-
how have we
that
not
shit
talked
will-
about sleep for a whole hour of talking about this shit? Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Sleeping. One more thing on cold showers and weed. Like, if you're having trouble quitting weed, like the actual like willpower it takes to turn the water cold is the exact same willpower it takes to not smoke a bowl. Like, oh, this will feel better if I don't do this, and it'll feel not as good if I do that, but it'll be good for me. Like, whatever you can do to build that willpower builds that willpower. So, cross train on that shit if you can. But I feel you. Sleep. That's something I neglected for a long time, and the second half of this year that has happened so far, I have been a lot better about sleep. And my mood is better. Maybe my overall productivity is down, but my sanity and my happiness are up. So, that's a balance I'm willing to strike. And when I was neglecting sleep to work way harder, I would burn myself out, and then I would have weeks of barely getting shit done. And so I was like, okay, technically I can get more done in a day, but I don't actually need to. I'd rather get more done in the month.
Yeah, and the other thing is too, like, if you're trying to make these changes, like quit something, you are definitely not going to do it sleep deprived. Like, I definitely notice my willpower is the lowest and my mental talk is the most self-destructive when I am sleep deprived and or hungry, and then I just have a unsettled feeling and I take a way out that isn't the actual solution. It's a band-aid to the solution. So, like, there was just no way before that I would be able to quit if I decided today and I don't get good sleep. Tomorrow, at some point, my inner voice will find a way to convince me and I will fall to it. Versus if I just got good sleep, I would feel better inside. I don't feel this sense that something is missing. It makes it easier to forget about it and move on. Yeah, it's still hard when you get cravings and you're thinking about it and all that stuff, but like it actually made it a possibility for me. Like, before, I would just be sleep deprived all the time, working on music, smoking bowls, all that shit, and you just get in the habit and then you just feel like crap internally and you don't even realize it. Versus when you get your diet and sleep on track, there's just less of this longing for external stuff.
Yeah, totally. Slapzilla makes a good point as well. Do any of y'all sleep too much? Like that, I have found that is absolutely a thing for me. Like 6 hours is a minimum to not feel wrecked. 7.5 hours is perfect. Like, if I wake up exactly 7.5 hours from the moment I went to sleep, like, I have a chance of being rested. 10 hours of sleep feels nice, but then I am just absolutely wrecked that entire day. Like, I'm just like tired the whole day, which is not unusual. Like, in general, like, I've never been able to wake up easily. Like, I don't wake up feeling rested, like, ever. And so, like, doing whatever I can to try and optimize towards that number of hours of sleep that I've found I actually have the best chance of not feeling like a shrimp when I wake up, it helps, right? And then the other thing that I found is, even though I would like to have a variable bedtime and variable wake up time every day, it's just not the most beneficial for your sleep, right? So what I've been trying to do lately that I found works really well, go to bed between 11 at midnight and wake up between 6:30 and 7:30. Just whatever time. If it's 11, set my alarm for 6:30. If it's midnight, set my alarm for 7:30. Wake up. And then snooze is like it's just like the the most insidious like dopamine hit to go back to sleep. You don't get better sleep.
That's
you
the worst fucking
you hit
joint
snooze
ever.
9 times, like your day is done, dude. You're gonna feel so tired. And actually, I learned something from Chauncey about just doing stuff in life in general that I've found actually to be that I remembered the other day and like started implementing it when I'm waking up. That works really well. If you give yourself a countdown in your head backwards from 5 to 1, like, okay, I got to get out of bed. And I think I might just go back to sleep. No. Okay. You're going to count from 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And like, whatever, I don't know what it is, but like the mental trigger of like counting yourself down, there's like a 40% better chance I'll actually get out of bed if I do a countdown in my head, which doesn't sound like a lot, but moves the needle, right? Like, because the difference between getting out of bed when you're tired and not getting out of bed is just a decision. And that decision is really, really hard to make sometimes. So anything you can do to break yourself out of the mental rut of like, no, I don't want to do that, works really good. And I found that just like counting back from 5 to 1, like helps me get out of bed right at 7.5 hours, because without hitting snooze, then I actually get out. Once I'm moving, like I feel much better.
Amen. You know, I think a lot of what we've talked about comes down to willpower and doing exercises. So we'll probably have to do a whole episode at some point about building willpower or something. But, you know, for now, I think we've covered a lot of really good stuff. Big,
the full package.
Big ups to the chat. Really appreciate that y'all are here with us.
And, much love to the chat.
Yeah, y'all wonderful.
Sparked a lot of great conversation.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, thanks for helping us, go off the dome here and wing this episode with no guest. Really appreciate y'all. Definitely helped co-create a dope episode. So, humans, peace! And peace among worlds.
Woo. Much love.
Kill him, he's a spy. I gotta go take a shit.
All right, humans, what a good episode. Shouts out to Tesko with his spooky season tune, Monsters Are Real. That's the song of the week. You're hearing it behind me. And go down below for some sweet links to that. Also support our sponsors, Dojo TV. That's free producer live stream classes from the Producer Dojo Senseis. Absolutely no reason not to click that link for some dope free classes and content for your producer needs. And then the weekly download, where you can learn from our mentor, Il Gates, in this private weekly group lessons and get access to over 250 more episodes in the archive for just $20 a month. And guest practices, where you can learn from Seth Drake at the Approach Institute. He's the best engineer we know, and your first class is free. Make sure to follow the podcast on TikTok and on Instagram at The Human Music Podcast. Follow us on Twitter at Human Music Pod. If you got an idea for an episode topic or a question, then please email us at thehumanmusicpodcast@gmail.com or leave a comment on YouTube or one of our socials. And until next time, humans, peace out. Peace among worlds.
I like it.